Welcome to the Hookup on Music with your host, Tony Bird.
Welcome, everybody. Tonight is episode 127, and I am joined by, the amazing, magnificent, two cool words back together. Stan, how are you, my man? How you doing?
What's going on, brother? I'm good,
glad
man.
for you to be here tonight. This very special episode that we've put together in just a couple hours. And honestly,
we talked like 2 hours ago, like, hey, let's do this.
I never would even have thought it when you were like, I'm free if you want to. I'm like, you know what? What else I got to do? What else we got to do? And we could put this together. Sadly, at the show 100th episode, we had to put on hiatus. We will be bringing that to you soon. So why not talk a little music in the meantime? Because honestly, one of the great things that helps me through the week is when Brian just sends me some awesome music, man. We're just trading music back and forth, great music conversation. And we're going to dig into some of that here tonight. So we're going to start with, honestly, I'm always kind of a little bit shocked that you like these albums. It's the Use Your Illusion albums, Use Your Illusions 1 and 2. I guess, you obviously don't like Guns N' Roses a lot. Right? Kind of.
Yeah. I mean, Guns N' Roses was one of my first loves in music. It was like Faith No More, and then it was Guns N' Roses, and it was because of my siblings, my older siblings. But yeah, I feel like Appetite for Destruction is possibly the best album in the 1980s, and I mean, we're gonna be talking about that in a couple weeks, but
that's what I was gonna say. Great 80s albums. Look out for that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean the follow up, they didn't want to do a double album, so they released them separately to make more money, I assume. Yeah, there's some brilliance and there's some terrible, and it's just like it's kind of interweaved, and like you and I discussed the other day, if they took the good songs from both of them and put them on one album, it would have been one of the best rock albums of all time. But instead, you get like 8 or 9 good tracks split over 2 albums with another 20 terrible tracks where Axl Rose is just stretching. He's trying to be, I don't know. There's some songs where you're like, this sounds like the fucking Black Crowes. What's going on here?
They're just trying to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
And also kind of, the album ranges from, what's the word I'm looking for? The brilliance of a song all the way to the cringeworthiness of something like Get in the Ring. You know what I mean? Like, it's like really like who was in the production room and said, like, all right, cut. We got
it was the apex. It was the apex of their substance problems too. So like, I'm sure there was like, they go into the studio and all you do is get fucked up and fight. You know what I mean? Like, then Axl Rose wanted to become some type of crooner, or I don't know what you get Appetite and then progressively just down all the way to Chinese Democracy.
Which I never really listened to, but a little while ago I went for a quick 15-minute walk and I thought we were going to talk about this. So I'm like, I'm going to put on Chinese Democracy for a second. Let's just see. I got like the first track, Chinese Democracy, was like, okay. And then it like really like went like, I didn't even make it. I just kind of started fast forwarding the songs because some of them a lot of them was like piano, more piano.
It's like listening to the Glenn Danzig Elvis record, which you and I have already talked about on Hookup, and we don't have to again. But it's kind of like that. It's like Axl had like something in mind that just didn't hit. I mean, they had the same problem with Spaghetti Incident too. Spaghetti Incident was fucking horrible.
That was honestly that, and they really were their last thing they did right after Spaghetti Accident was they were on the soundtrack for Interview with the Vampire. They did a cover of Symphony for the Devil. I don't know if you've ever heard.
Oh, you're right. I forgot that even existed. It's a solid cover. It's not that terrible.
But again, you're coming towards. Like, to me, there's some songs on this album that if you re-listen in hindsight, like I think November Rain is a pretty good song. Don't Cry is a good song. Estranged is a good song. The stuff where they try to be a little different. But what really I think is the bedmark is some of these music videos. I don't know when the last time you sat down and watched the music videos, but
yeah,
early 90s production. Not terrible.
Come on. The Terminator walking through a Guns N' Roses concert.
Actually put that on. You Could Be Mine, man. Put that
That's a good tune, man. I mean, it is what it is, but it's a good tune. I love Civil War is my favorite from both the albums, and I think didn't you say the same thing?
Yeah. I mean, Civil War is again the just the whole Cool Hand Luke clip in the beginning. What we got here is failure to communicate, and then the way it kicks off. Because honestly, before talking to you, I couldn't even tell you what the first track was on Use Your Illusion 1, but I always knew Civil War is the first track on Use Your Illusion 2 because it's so awesome. Yeah. But well, going from this, a band that you were sharing with me that I never really dug too much into is Sebadoh. Is that how you pronounce her name?
Sebadoh.
I should have.
Yeah, Lou Barlow from the guitarist from Dinosaur Jr. It was like a passion project of his, and they kind of just stretched it out for a very long time. A couple of really good albums, but my favorite is one of my favorite actual rock albums of the whole decade was Bake Sale. Like the first 4 or 5 tracks on Bake Sale, just legendary to me. Listen over and over and over again. When I started collecting records, that was one of the first buys that I was like, I got to get this. And another one, like shout out to my sister, Amy. She was the one that kind of got me in. I mean, she got me into Dinosaur Jr. and then she got me into those guys. So,
well, the thing about it is that Lou Barlow is super talented. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's across, this and obviously Dinosaur Jr. and Folk Implosion and really, really good stuff. I was unfamiliar with this, but I will tell you that's a pretty awesome album name. For listening, Bake Sale,
and it's just a picture of a kid, like a naked child, like in front of a toilet.
Yeah. And what's actually even more interesting, it's actually Lou at 1 year old, taken by his mom, right there on the front cover. So you say to yourself, Lou's putting himself out there, right there. Right there
I think the thought process behind that, or at least what I think possibly could be the thought process behind that, is just like imagining someone walking up to the register at Sam Goody with an album of just a baby with his bare ass sticking out. Like it's almost like Nevermind, but like even more like, what the fuck is this? Because everybody knew what Nevermind was at that point.
Also really cool, I thought, was the recording of the album. The initial sessions, not the were done at Steve Albini's house.
Right, it was like that lo-fi kind of. Yeah.
Very cool album though. I'm glad you shared it. And now, have you ever do these guys still play live? Have you ever seen these guys?
They kind of go back and forth. I don't think they have in a while. I think Lou is mostly focused on the Dinosaur Jr. tours, and then he's been doing some Folk Implosion stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you've ever seen Dinosaur Jr. live, and you and I have seen them together live, just loud and wonderful. Like you're gonna go home and you're not gonna hear for a couple of days afterwards, but just loud and awesome. Just very talented group of guys, and they know what they're doing all the time.
And after we saw them, it was like a couple months later on their tour, they were bringing out some artists that I was shocked. Like they brought out Dave Matthews, and they did a cover of the Neil Young song Cortez the Killer, which is, but like, obviously for both of them to know each other enough to walk out on stage together just shows how awesome Dinosaur Jr. is, because
everybody loves the shit out of Maskus just like he did a lot. He produced a lot of stuff too. It wasn't just Dinosaur Jr. stuff. My brain's not working tonight. Trying to remember. There's a couple of bands that he did some really good albums. When you listen to him, you're like, holy shit, I can hear Jay Maskus in this. Like you could tell how much influence he had on putting those together. I wish I could remember offhand. A couple of them. I have a couple of them, which makes it even worse than old man brain. Uh-oh, I think we lost Tony here. Jack is absolutely right. If you have never seen Dinosaur Jr. live, two things. One, try to see them in a smaller venue. The last couple of times I've seen them, one was at Riot Fest. It was a good show. It's just the intimacy of it being so fucking loud and it's almost like jarringly loud. That's how loud. That's how aggressive they are when they play. That. Are we still recording? Yeah, we're still going. Just so aggressively loud that it's almost jarring, and then you just it's wonderful. So.
Brian, thank you. It's been about like 6 episodes since that's happened in my McDonald's.
Hey, I not my first rodeo podcasting, baby. I know I know how to try and fill. You know, sometimes I can't, but usually I can.
But going on from there, what I wanted to ask you was a couple of news stories. How did you feel about like if you had tickets last night, would you have been at the Oasis Live 25, or is they not your bag?
Never was an Oasis fan. If it wasn't at Soldier Field, I would consider going, but I don't like Soldier Field for football or anything. So I just it's such a fucking train wreck getting to. Yeah, but I never got into Oasis at any capacity. I still honestly I still don't quite understand the draw. Well, you know, at the end of the day, music is music, and you like what you like, and if you love Oasis, then that's great, good for you. I'm just, you know, not one that I ever regularly followed.
What's the word I'm looking for here? I wasn't a regular fan. But like 2 years ago, because that's what I love to do, is these bands I never got into, I try to find what the allure is, especially in the deeper stuff, and like really good stuff, you know. And then there's the stuff that you see it's overplayed, you know. Again, some could be
my tastes mid. My tastes go through so many cycles, and you know, like how just wildly vast my tastes in music are. I listen to a lot of stuff. I'm sure at some point I'll start listening, and we'll probably start to like them, but not today.
Yeah. And the other news question I had to bring up to you, because you did see them, was I didn't know if you heard, is there's some suing going along in the police. Stuart Copeland and Andy Summers is suing Sting over alleged that they owed back royalties on songs. So like, take for instance, like recently I heard in a commercial, like every breath you take, they Sting gets all the money for that, even though like Andy Summers wrote the guitar part for it. So like, do you find it at this point rightful that they go after their money, or is this something that you think is out of vengeance, or is this something?
I don't know what the rights deal is. I mean, you look at, let's go back to Guns N' Roses. I mean, Axl Rose owns everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't even know what the dynamic is, but I'm sure there'll be some type of settlement or something. I mean, those guys still like do stuff together from time to time too. It's not like
well, just this week, Hall and Oates, you know, they wrapped up.
They settled. Yeah,
they settled. You know, I mean, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? You drag it into the courts,
and at the end of the day, it's so much money coming in and out. Why do you guys have to bicker over it? Like, what, are you struggling? Like, I don't think so. Have you ever heard the Diddy stuff with Sting?
No, I know he was on the song.
I'm trying to remember how much money. So Diddy never got permission.
Oh, really?
No, and he pays him. It's something absurd, like $5,000 a week for the rest of his life. Like, it's like he's gonna end up having to give Sting like $50 million for that song.
Well, yeah, I mean,
if you
definitely seems to be rightful in that case, you know. Definitely seems rightful.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of like licensing rights, and I mean, the Beatles had problem. I mean, everybody seems to go through that. If you make money and you're successful, everybody's going to try to get their piece. Well, and to be fair, and to say like the Police live, I'm just to throw it out there, one of the best live performances I've ever seen. And it was on a tour where everybody's like, oh, they're terrible, and apparently that show at Wrigley Field like is what turned everything around. And after that, like all the shows started, because they hadn't played in 30 years or whatever it was. I mean, the last time when they came on the stage, they're like, the last time we were in Chicago was at Old Comiskey Park, and you're like, holy fuck,
a little while ago.
Yeah.
If you had
Andy Summers was amazing, by the way. Andy sounds. That guy can do some craziness.
Oh, he's a great guitar player.
Yeah.
He had a documentary that came out within the last 5 years. Really good stuff. He spent a lot of time hanging out with like John Belushi. Can you imagine how cool? Like, how's the guitar player from the Police end up on a beach in Jamaica hanging out with John Belushi? And just imagine those conversations.
Imagine how much cocaine was flying around there.
Well, that too, definitely some of that probably. But now let us sail into why we are here tonight. We are here for, we're going to talk some soundtracks. Okay, we're going to start with this soundtrack here, the album right there.
Two worlds collide, rival nation. Yeah. Yeah. So I, we were, as you mentioned, we were going to do at the show, and that you guys had asked me to pop on and present a soundtrack. And this was my presentation. So when we do the actual episode, I'll have a different one for you guys. But I wanted to just talk about this one just because you know me, and I love a good bad, something that's so bad that it's good, or bad good, whatever you want to call it. That's what this soundtrack is, and it perfectly encapsulates the movie itself, because it fits so perfectly with the movie. And the first track, which I just sang the first line from the first track, which is "Burning Hearts" by Survivor, and it's so funny because when you see a movie, you never hear a song in a movie where it literally is describing what's going on. Can you think of another situation where it's like that? Because that's literally what "Burning Heart" here. Two worlds collide, rival nations in a primitive clash, venting years of frustrations. And the best part is, when this movie came out in late 1985, the Cold War was already starting to like ease up, because Gorbachev had taken over, and he was talking to the West, and like everything was going well. And then this movie came out, and they made it sound like it's such a horrible, horrible situation and conflict. and it's like, it was like 20 years ago, but right now, I don't know.
The lead songwriter, he's always at the Sox games, Jim Petrick. He was also in a band called Ides of March, who sings the song Vehicle, but he wrote and was in Survivor for a while. And this song is just obviously the epitome of classic 80s cheese.
And the best part too is they threw Eye of the Tiger on it, and Eye of the Tiger is even in the movie.
It was 3, wasn't it? Rocky, wasn't it Rocky?
Yeah, Eye of the Tiger was that. Yeah, that was when they were when he was getting trained to fight Clubber Lang in the third one. Yeah, that was like Apollo Creed's.
They used to do that mantra. A lot, which I used to hate. Like, they'd have a hit song on one album, they're like, and featuring, and they'd put it right at the bottom of the new album just so you can come out. And,
those were like the 3 big tracks. It was the 2 Survivor ones, Burning Heart and Eye of the Tiger, and then James Brown, Living in America.
Now that's my song right there. That's a track.
I actually have a pretty funny Living in America story for a second here.
Let's hear it.
So I am drunk. Very, very drunk at a restaurant in Kenosha. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I go to the bathroom, take a leak. I'm going to the bathroom. I start to wash my hands, and this dude walks in, and he's literally dressed like a pimp. Like he's got like this polyester suit, and he's got a hat with like a fucking feather sticking out. And he walks up and he goes, you know, when I came in here, I wasn't wearing a hat. Now I'm wearing a hat. And then he turns around and starts to walk away, and he goes, living in America. And that's like, it was like 25 years ago, and it still sticks in my head. My cousin Josh and I were standing there and just laughing for like an hour in that bathroom, like drunk as hell, just giggling over this living in America guy. But yeah, I had to throw that little anecdote in there.
Now there's another song on this album, track 2, Hearts on Fire.
Yeah.
John Cafferty, who sings this, he was in a band called John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
Beaver Brown Band, yes.
Actually, really shockingly, the saxophone
not a bad song.
player, no, and the saxophone player actually passed away just about a week ago. So the ironic is you bring up a connection like that. But again, good song. I actually like that song.
Hearts on Fire. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good one. I like the score parts too. What is it? Vince, what's the DeCaro, I think. Oh man, gotta take my glasses off to read. Vince DiCola. There's a couple of just instrumental scores that were pretty. It's almost like if I was teaching a film school class, I would show the training montages. There's like three of them in Rocky IV that are absolutely brilliant. And
I remember arguing with friends and being like, "No, Dolph is working out way harder than Rocky is. Like, Rocky's got a beard and he's just in the winter.
Rocky's picking up a wheelbarrow with his wife in it, and he's like these the primitive ways of working out is just what the fuck is going on here."
For me, I guess, whenever I think of this movie, I don't know why I always I almost asked you, was this, because I never think of the year this movie came out. I always think it's like 88, 89, 9. No, it's 85. It's
85.
Dead middle in the middle of
the 80s. The third one's what, 83?
Yeah.
82. Maybe even earlier than that, because Hogan wasn't even big yet. Hulk Hogan's in 3. He got fired from the WWF for doing that movie.
I'm just glad tonight you didn't bring the Rocky V soundtrack. That would have been a real stellar. I don't know.
We're gonna talk. We'll talk about Tommy Gunn for a couple hours.
Tommy Gunn,
and Stallone's son, who's unfortunately no longer with us, plays his son.
Yeah, that was sad. But living in America, I mean, you talk about just in cool musical montages in film. The whole James Brown.
With the ring coming up and all that shit.
Yeah,
really... that whole scene. It's like it's the indulgence of Americans and the over the top, and then you have this just big beefy ass Russian guy and fucking kills him. You know what I mean? Like it lines up the movie so well. And again, I think it's one of those bad good movies. It's so bad that it's fucking great. You know.
Sometimes I sit and I think of what's like how many times I walked into a room and my dad was watching either Rocky 2, 3, or 4. So I wonder which one I actually watched him watching the most. And like
I would be skeptical of anyone that would say Rocky 3 was their favorite one. But
the thing about it though is you got to tell yourself this, and this is the only reason I'm going to say this, is my dad's like 26 when that comes out.
Yeah.
So like again, you're like, and if you're like this, you know, you're 26 years old and it's just like Mr. T. It's just, honestly, you want to talk about just like spectacle of ridiculousness. Which one's your favorite?
Do you have any predictions for this fight? Pain. No, honestly, I would say 4 is my favorite just because of how terrible and awesome it is. Yeah. But the first 2, I wouldn't even like count 2 as its own entity. I kind of feel like 1 and 2 kind of bleed into each other so well. And then after that, like the money takes over, really. Let's be fair about that. And it's funny because that's what happens in the movie too. Like he's training to fight Clubber Lang and he's not taking it seriously. He's doing photo shoots and laying on the hood of a car and buying robots for his brother-in-law. You know, so like it actually, like, you know, it went from being so simplistic, those first 2 movies, to the third one. There's just, you know, but that's what they did in the movie too. So it's kind of cool that I feel like they kind of recognize that, like, yeah, this is a cash grab.
And that's why I think, like, actually after this movie, not much into the series that's like, oh man, this is, it's all seems cashy.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, the fifth one's just awful.
Oh yeah.
With the Don King ripoff and only in America.
The street fight at the end is just so stupid. It's like, because that was
Touch me, I'll sue.
Every movie, it's like the build-up. I think the reason why maybe 3 is like back before he turned into the weirdo jerk, he became Hulk Hogan's in it. You know what I mean? Because like even Hulk Hogan's like in Gremlins 2, and you're like, Hulk Hogan, this is kind of, is like a 10-year-old, but then you're like, now you're like, boom. But great soundtrack pick here. I think this was amazing.
Very underrated one, I think.
It is very underrated.
I literally bought it just for the podcast.
Oh, you are a doll.
Well, I needed to add to my Survivor collection too, of course. That's
got a couple more soundtracks here. Let's see if you've ever heard or listened into these. Here we go. Soundtrack up first. I know you've heard this one. This is actually when you said, I was hoping this next one was what you were going to bring. The Crybaby soundtrack.
Oh, yes. That's Mr. Crybaby to you.
I don't know if they got a vinyl of this. But
is that John Waters' best movie?
It's probably, well, I like Serial Mom a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Serial Mom's one, yeah.
But these again, I would not know this movie. I didn't see my mom like watching this movie like repeatedly when I'm like 9 or 10. And it's it's so original. Like it's like Tim Burton in its own way too. It's like very original in the music too. And to see an early performance, and Depp actually does a good job musically in the role. I mean,
Is that him singing? I don't think it is.
I'm going to check into that right now. But that being said, do they have a vinyl of this? Do you know that?
I have no idea, but if they do, it better be like Pink or something like that, just for John John Waters' sake.
No, you're right. James Idveded is the singing voice in the movie, so it is not. He
That's
sings
what
along.
I thought. And Ricky Lake's in it, and Iggy Pop is what, like their stepdad or something, like stepdad or something. Yeah, it's so random. And John can you imagine like John Waters walking like, hey Iggy, you want to be Johnny Depp's dad in a movie or stepdad or whatever? Oh, okay.
But good musical, good soundtrack.
Yeah, I showed it to Brandy she had never seen it. I showed it to Brandy like 4 or 5 years ago, and she loved it so much.
It's such a now that you say that, I think that's one of the next ones I'm going to show Katie, because it's just a cool movie, really good movie. I was on your show before and we talked great soundtracks. The real reason I bring this soundtrack up is because the other night I was watching Pulp Fiction, and I keep thinking about how different the soundtrack is altogether compared to other soundtracks. I mean, it's got so many different things, musical interludes, just an original soundtrack, and this is some of these soundtracks I'm bringing up now are just our ending here is just kind of celebrating the 100 years of At the Show soundtracks. So that's what this is. This is a classic.
There we go.
But now we're going to move on to a little bit more here. Wayne's World soundtrack.
Ooh, yes.
You ever own this one? Or
hell yeah, I had. That CD got scratched to hell, man. Sicka Nico, come on.
I got this cassette down here somewhere, but no, it's such a good album. I mean, honestly, you say
even like the Tia Carrere stuff is really good.
The Tia Carrere stuff's really good.
Very talented.
Just a great overall soundtrack, though.
Yeah, Alice Cooper. Yeah, there's a little bit of everything in there.
Kind of where I got my introduction at like 8 years old to Queen. You know what I mean? I think I heard this before I heard Jock Jams with "We Will Rock You," and but good
Pretty
stuff.
Sure my brother took me to see Wayne's World at the theater. I know I saw it at the theater. I think my brother took me. Another one of the Gulf Mill movie theater moments with like Michael Keaton Batman and
Oh, classic. Little Shop of Horrors. You ever see Little Shop of Horrors? This is again.
I have. Yeah.
Great
I've
musical,
actually seen the musical too.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. That's another like one of Brandy's favorites.
That's why I
Steve
brought
Martin.
it up.
I got the Steve Martin dentist Funko Pop. So
that's what's actually you can if you sit and watch Little Shop of Horrors and then you watch something like Crybaby, you could see the cool camp that's like intertwined into it. And I always like that. It's pretty cool that the voice of the plant is Levi Stubbs from the Four Tops. He does a really good job as the voice of is just a really good Rick Moranis, Steve Martin, good singing interludes.
Wonderful in it. Yeah.
The ECW Extreme Music soundtrack. I told you we had a little bit of wrestling here for you tonight. Did you ever own this?
I did not.
Well, honestly, Brian, out there, and I'll have to get a couple copies. There are some backyard wrestling videos with my moi getting slammed through fire tables. Could have hurt myself. And what we did was, it was ridiculous. Like, we took the back, like someone's backyard gate would open up and we had like dry ice like coming out of it. And these stupid songs is what we would play.
That's funny.
Ridiculous.
When I was in high school, I went to a backyard show, and apparently like 2 or 3 weeks before that, CM Punk had been on the show. Like, we grew up in the Chicago. If you grew up in the Chicagoland area in the 90s and you were a big wrestling dork, you probably ran into him at one point or another wrestling. I unfortunately never did, but apparently from friends I know that know friends of his, like I used to go to a lot of Punk shows that he would go to all the time too. So like Punk and ska stuff. So I probably, 15-year-old Brian with 18-year-old CM Punk at a 7 seconds show or whatever,
Classic. The Beavis and Butthead Do America soundtrack. Now, this movie's been on recently. Have you ever seen this movie?
Oh yeah. Back in my camper, off you were a whackin', or what's the line?
Movie is just unfortunately so ridiculous that if you're having a bad day, it's been on Paramount Plus Showtime a lot recently, and like the soundtrack though, at the end, there's this LL Cool J song that is really kind of awesome. And also awesome on it is like you got White Zombie, of course. The one I always remember is Roller Coaster of Love, of course.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's good.
Now there's the Beavis and Butthead soundtrack, but there was an album called the Beavis and Butthead Experience.
Oh my, that was my favorite. That
one was amazing. I had that one.
This one.
I never had this soundtrack, but I remember the soundtrack being really good. But I remember that Experience one being just, there's like Primus was on there, and
Poetry and Prose by Primus was amazing. Megadeth 99 Ways to Die is a really awesome song. You had Nirvana. I mean, how many songs off of like not a Nirvana album? They weren't on many soundtracks. They were like the lead off track. Anthrax, Barrel of a Gun.
Yep.
Cover of Beastie Boys. Good stuff on that soundtrack. Good one.
Sir Mix-a-Lot, Monster Mac.
Oh yeah, that was classic. Primus though. That Primus song is one of my favorites. It's a good one.
Holy crap! They actually have that one on vinyl. I gotta look for that.
Clerk soundtrack.
Clerk soundtrack, very good. Chewbacca, yeah. What a Wookiee. Yeah, that's a really good. That Bad Religion song is freaking excellent. Like obviously they had like Fuck Your Yankee Blue Jeans. They had a Berserker on there, like the real version of it. And you know what I love sometimes when. Did he say making fuck? Now what's funny is like soundtracks like that, soundtracks like Pulp Fiction. I'm trying to think of other ones. Natural Born Killers, where they like infuse like clips from the movie into the actual song. I think it's kind of fun. I mean, it gets annoying sometimes because you just want to listen to music, but I think it's kind of cool to like. It's one of those like things to remember. If
you really kind of think about it, and I know this might be a stretch to say, but like some of these soundtracks back in the 90s, they were like almost like your original Spotify playlist. You had all these cool songs that were put together, and you were just like I'm looking here, you got Alice in Chains, Corrosion of Conformity, Soul Asylum, and Stabbing Westward all on the same soundtrack. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't happen.
Jesus Lizard.
Jesus Lizard. I mean, those guys are good.
Absolutely.
But really though, again, you know, good soundtracks, man. Really good soundtracks. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, my man. I think
anytime, brother.
I think we hit it out of the park. And I think we talked about maybe in a couple weeks we're going to do an episode where we're going to talk about those who only released like an album or two before they.
Yeah, that was an idea I threw at you. Yeah, like musicians that
gone too soon.
Started off really, really well, and then unfortunately, whether it was drugs or an accident or just something unfortunate happening, didn't really get to amass the volume of their catalog as some. So yeah, that'll be
good. Tune in and wait for that. That's going to be good. You want to share what you got coming up? You got no one coming up?
So Tuesday, Drafty Pod will be back. I got my wrestling crew on. So Dougie Fresh from the Chicago Sports Bums, Joey P from Chicago Sports Bums, as well as my buddy Shankster are all going to be on, and we are going to do a draft of making our own wrestling Mount Rushmore. So each of us are going to pick 4 wrestlers and make our own Mount Rushmore. So I thought that'd be pretty fun. And then you're going to be on the 9th with another Chicago Sports Bum, actually, Johnny from Chicago Sports Bums. We're going to do albums of the 80s. So that one I've been looking forward to a lot. So I'm definitely I was talking to Johnny the other day, and he's already like starting to make a list, so he's excited too. So
I'm excited to see what he has. He's going to have some.
Yeah, I mean, we've done the 90s, so I figured the 80s would be a fun ad.
Yeah, and I mean, always awesome to always. You know, I don't know if you tipped your cap with Appetite of Destruction. Hopefully, if I get the first pick, no, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't. Honestly, I love the album. I think it's a great album, but you don't have to worry about me on that one. What you do have to worry about is watching your awesome show on Tuesday, because it's going to be great. And also, if you can, Dougie this week posted this picture of this buffalo chicken sandwich he made. I don't very rarely post like, that looks really good. I just don't do it. I always just tell it to myself, but I literally posted to him, man, that looks fucking amazing. He's a
really he posted what he made for dinner tonight. He made like steaks and like lobster mac, and I'm like,
I haven't been on there yet. Now I'm gonna go on there, look at it, and then I'm gonna go and eat an ice cream cone and imagine that's what it is. But yeah, please look out at the show. We'll be back soon, hopefully, and then next Friday, and we will celebrate our 100th episode. Also, check out some of the other stuff that's going on the channel. We just dropped a new James Bond episode on Diamonds Are Forever. Adam also went on a rant on how much he thought Top Gun 2 was not great. I kind of agree, kind of disagree. It's a little bit in the middle. Also, check out Frame by Frame, another awesome Yumper show with Cotton. They went into the Invasion of the Body Snatcher films, the original and the 1978 version. Definitely really awesome. That 1978 version still scares me when I watch it. It's really cool.
I don't think I've ever seen the 78. I've seen the original. I've never seen the 78.
Oh man. And I'm not mistaken, it's on one of the streaming services that you probably, one of the 1800 that everybody has and pays instead of just doing cable with the old days. That being said, we are going to talk to you guys soon. So thank you so much. And then go to sadisticpenguinstudios.com and check out all the articles there. Cotton's got good ones. See, Yumper, I got it all. I think I got it all. All right, there. We will talk to you guys soon. Have a good weekend and enjoy your Labor Day. Take care.
Later, y'all.
Later.
Thank you for listening. Please look out for the audio version wherever you jam.